Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is Thoughts in Stereo. I'm Bijan Amir, hip-hop producer from Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. And you might know me from a song called Ric Flair Drip, amongst a few others. Belly, Party Next Door, Tommy Genesis, Killy, locals up and coming, that kind of situation.
I'm Nick Enriquez from nearby Mississauga, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I'm more of in the dance pop realm of things. I try to do hip hop, but can't do it as good as this guy, so doesn't work too well. But yeah, you might know me from a song called Body by Loud Luxury. A couple other dubs records called Get Out My Face. Classic. And Somebody Like You and stuff like that. A couple other dance hit party artists.
Perfect. Yeah. This is Thoughts in Stereo, a podcast by producers, for producers, yes. And I guess for other people too, if you're interested in kind of what we do.
Anyone who has an interest in the music industry stuff, kind of, our experiences and the ins and outs of what we've come to learn and what we've been lucky enough to be able to do, and what we want to do, and, things that we can talk about regarding our experiences, and I don't know, I guess just everything related to... We definitely want to make it clear that it's not like this is how we produce, this is the way, these are new production tips of this week. It's more of a rounded, industry focused podcast where we talk about, networking and mental health and this and that.
Like work-life
balance, all that stuff.
Yeah, traveling, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess for our first episode, we have decided that we're gonna interview each other.
Yeah.
I think it's actually Matt's idea, but interview each other for 10 questions each. And so I have my questions here. I know you've written down some.
I do.
So why don't we just jump right into it? We've done the introduction. I've written that down. My number 2 question is, Nick, why did you start producing, first of all? Yeah. And now, if you can expand on it by adding why you chose dance, like house, EDM music type situation.
Gotcha. I started producing because, when I was 8 and my older brother was 16, he started DJing, and I kind of wanted to copy everything he did at the time and started DJing. And then I started doing school dances, and that stuff started to really fall. Yeah, I did my grade 7, grade 8 and stuff like that, like Halloween dances and whatever. And people would always be like, stop playing remix music, because all I would play was old school Swedish House Mafia and stuff. Of course. And I just fell in love with dance music. So I got so good at DJing by 11. I got so good at DJing at 11 I was like, hey, I want to start making the music. So my mom brought home an old laptop from work that was kind of broken and busted.
Oh, damn.
And my brother cracked Logic 9 or Logic 8.
Shout out Apple.
Shout out Apple.
Damn, what is it? Logic 8 you said?
Logic 8, yeah.
Wow. And
I started producing on Logic 8, jumped around, tried out Fruity Loops, didn't like it. Big jab. And then eventually now moved to Ableton. But I definitely chose dance because my brother was going clubbing a lot at the time. So that's what he would listen to. That was the CDs that was in my car. That was what all my cousins would listen to. Mm-hmm. So I just gravitated towards it. I loved the energy. Mm-hmm. At the time, dance music was so happy and it was very, very euphoric.
Right.
Whereas now it's kind of on the darker side of things.
Right.
So yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think as people progressed, they started making things hit harder in the club.
Yeah.
And they thought dark club, dark music.
Yeah.
Instead of turn the lights up.
Yeah,
make it beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't you worry, child moments. Those were the craziest.
Yeah.
Whereas now everything's just a kick and a bass.
Yeah.
Really hard. Which is still good. It's still great music, but it's different.
Just different.
Yeah.
Do you want to do 1-in-1 or do you want me to go through all
Yeah, let's do 1-in-1. I like that.
Okay, cool.
I'm down for 1-in-1.
Let's hear it. What's your question?
How did you start your music career?
Oh no. Well, I guess it's a funny story. I guess my music career, when I first started producing, I was...
Yeah, producing / music career.
Yeah, I guess... See, I started producing as a hobby because it was probably 10 years ago now, 10, 11 years ago. I think I was about 12 years old. 11 or
Same.
12.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
That's so funny. No, you were 8. Oh no, I guess
I was 12.
Yeah. Oh yeah, grade 7, grade 8. Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
for some reason I thought you said you were 8.
All good.
Yeah. So I started when I was producing when I was 12, and I think the reason was that I really just wanted to be like a cool kid. And like, no, like honestly, like, and everyone always laughs when I tell them that. And it's like,
Yeah.
but it's like, it's true. Like, I really never listened to music growing up. Like, my family wasn't really like big into music. Like, no, like, we didn't have like vinyls sitting around or CDs, like, or we did have CDs, but no one was really like really listening to music. The only music I would really listen to was like movie soundtracks. And I just like always love movie soundtracks. Like, it's just such a huge amount of effort that goes into it. And if it's done right, it really adds so much to the visual aspect of the movie.
Yeah.
So I was listening to those, but I was like this big time nerd type situation, like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
Yes.
Yes. Like Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
But I was ripping Beyblade once upon a time too. Come on.
There you go. We all did. But like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and I was just nerd Pokemon, but it's great stuff. But I was like, man, I want to be popular. I want to be cool.
Yeah.
And hip hop is like always has been like very cool, like a very cool genre
for sure.
So I was like, oh, you know what? Let me see what hip hop's saying. Like Like, so I started listening to music. Like, I started listening to rap music. Like, this was like when it was just after, I think, when Lil Wayne did Carter 3. And I like found Carter 3 and I was like, oh man, like this is sick. Like, he's so cool. Like, And then I remember in the beats for Carter 3, I was like, damn, like I really love how the rhythm of them. And I like, the snare rolls that he always used to have in his beats. Yeah. Like, that's such a cool way to transition parts and like whatever. It's like, damn, I want to do that. So I think I just Googled like beat making software or how to make beats. Or Classic. How to make snare rolls. And they're like, oh, check out this FL Studio. And I was like, all right, cool. So I think I like literally just downloaded FL Studio, paid for it. Or did I? And I've paid for it now. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to make that clear.
Me as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I started just like messing around, and like, of course, like the first things I was doing were terrible. I had no musical sense, any sense of rhythm or anything. But I really just taught myself, and I learned, and worked at it for 10 plus years, and here I am, full-time career. So
damn,
yeah,
let's go.
That's about it.
Sick.
Let's see. Okay, so I guess this kind of tied into your last my last question, but what was it about Ableton that made you stick to Ableton as opposed to like FL or Logic?
Yeah, I used Logic for years when I started, for like probably good 3-4 years, and I loved it, but there was like a ceiling to what I could get to, because I never wanted to do the research of how to use, there's this thing called like the environment window, and I still don't really understand it, but it's essentially just like routing macros and stuff like that within Logic, that I was just like, I don't care to watch a music video about that, or a
like
YouTube video about that. So I was like, I tried Ableton for the first time. I was like, oh, this is so fast. Yeah. I can get my ideas out like that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So kind of gravitated towards it. I still use Logic every day in the studio just to record vocals. Right. But that's it, because that's only because Logic or Ableton doesn't have the comping function.
Good. Yeah. Good stuff.
Love it. Oh yeah. And then what other producers, songwriters, and or artists do you see as your primary inspirations?
Definitely Wonder Girl. I met her when I was in grade 9, so I'd been producing for a couple years.
I just saw her, actually.
Where?
In LA. SoCan Canada Day party.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's fire. Yeah. She's always been a good friend of mine. Every time I see her, it's always love after all these years. I mean, I love that. Now we've known each other for almost 10 years. I think it's 9 now. God 8 damn. Or 9. But I remember like she brought me to Remix Project in Toronto when I was in grade 10. Like, I met Boy Wonder that day when she was working a lot with him. And she's just always been like someone I've always looked up to. Definitely like an architect, as Splice just described is true. She just put out a Splice kit, and definitely an architect, definitely an innovator. I don't think she gets enough credit for that. So definitely someone I look up to in that sense. And then the other two are, I don't know if they're cliche, but Pharrell and Timbo. Yeah. Pharrell is just like...
Dude, they're both geniuses.
So. Like Timbo is someone I look up to for just always pushing the envelope. Yeah. And his beats are incredible. And he just was like a super producer. And just really knows how to get the best out of an artist.
There's definitely one thing about him is that he has the most like cool videos online. Yeah. Like, if you search like Timbaland in the studio,
it's classic.
The best fit, like the when he play Dirt Off My Shoulders for Jay-Z. That's the coolest shit ever.
That is
and you
the
see
best
Jay's
video.
reaction.
Jay's
He's like, ooh, this is the one.
And Timbo's just like, yeah. Like, and he's like super like shoving a banana down his throat.
He goes to the camera. He's like, you got that on tape or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Great. He's so great. And then Pharrell, obviously, just because it's Pharrell. Like, he's so cool. And
he's a G.
He's a G, and his beats are just so simple, but like they're so fire. So I guess, those are my main inspirations.
Nice.
My question to you is, okay, so Body blew up 6 times platinum in Canada? 7 times platinum in Canada. It was a huge radio hit. I hear it all the time. I hate it.
I hate it too.
Watch your mouth. What was it like? But like, what was that like? Having it so popular and having,
it was like, it was extremely surreal.
Yeah.
Because like, that song, the Loud Luxury guys and I, we were friends for many, many years. We were nobodies in LA with no money.
Right.
I was living out there for school. They were living out there just like get their career going.
Right.
And we were the only friends each other had. So like, when you're just like making music with your homie in your bedroom, you don't think that something's going to happen to it.
Yeah.
And then it ends up going as far as Body did.
Yeah.
It like still almost doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
Like, you see like the certifications it got and like the accolades you gain from it. And you're like, oh, that's dope. But like, is it real? Like,
like, is this really me?
When's someone going to tell me this is a joke? Yeah,
exactly.
What is a sick joke?
Yeah.
But I think it's great. It's been a really, really good learning experience.
Good.
And yeah, I'm hoping for another one. I'll tell you that for free.
Buddy, me and you both. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
What is distinctive about a Bijan Amir production?
I don't know. It's funny. I don't really think that there's one thing that's like, oh yeah, here it is. There it is in the song. That's it.
It's not like necessarily one sample.
No,
I guess.
No, like one little thing. Like I know you love to do the little doom, doom, like at the end of your bass lines, toss it up an octave. That's the Nick and Bijan classic. But for me, I don't know. Like I just try to do like something different every time.
Yeah.
And of course there's going to be a lot of stuff that I do similar because I can't just make one of every kind of thing and then just say, all right, here's 5 artists that want this kind of sound.
Yeah.
I have one beat.
Yeah.
So like, there's times where I'll do similar beats, but like really I just try to do something different every time.
For sure.
And whether that comes out sounding a certain way, that's up to the listener. But for me personally, it's like,
one thing I've noticed about your beats is that all the drums that you use, they sound like they were built, they sound like they were built to be together type of thing. They sound like it's meant to be a kit.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'll be producing, I'll be like, fuck, the kick and the clap, they don't really mesh well. Like this hi-hat's too real for this type of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas yours, they all sound kind of like they're supposed to be friends.
Thank you. Yeah. No. Like it's funny because it's something that like I try to do. Like I really try to make sure all the sounds are like really meshing together because like it makes a difference. Like especially in hip hop stuff when everything sounds like it's supposed to be one record.
Yeah.
Then it really makes that kind of difference. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you really want to work with / what's the next step now after, Body has been such a thing, Get Up My Face is blowing up. I mean, the Casey Frey video is classic. But like who do you want, like where do you want to go from here?
I think from here I want to start working closer with artists in terms of like having a hand in all aspects of one artist, like starting with one and help them with the branding and have more of a creative control because once upon a time I wanted to be an artist and tour the world and be a DJ on festivals, whatever.
Big boy DJ,
yeah.
Ibiza.
Yeah. But it's just not for me.
Yeah.
So kind of being behind the scenes is nice and producing records with these people and getting cuts. It's all fun and games, but like I want to feel more involved.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing that I'm looking into doing. But right now, what's next is working a lot more with the Dubs guys.
Fire.
They're incredible. Man.
Yeah.
They're
you talked a lot of good things about them.
Man, they're some of the best people to be in the studio with.
That's
I
cool.
really love working with them. It never once has felt like work.
That's good.
But the thing is, we do get a lot done.
That's good.
Everything is very, very productive.
It's a great
relationship. But also like a fun, like homie vibe.
That's really good.
I love that.
That's good. Yeah. That's a great relationship to have.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite project that you've worked on?
The Tommy Genesis one is really close to my heart because I was an executive producer on that project.
Fire.
And I
I didn't
remember
know that.
Yeah, so I remember just coming in and I was talking to her and I'm like, hey, so what are you doing for your... And the funny thing is, it's also one of my favorites because before I left for LA, this was the first time I was going to LA for work.
Mm-hmm.
It was last year. And I remember I was with my good friend Michael and I just discovered Tommy like completely coincidentally. I think the song was Lucky and I was like, oh, like, she's fire. And then I ended up having they were like, oh, we're going to do a session with her. I was like, oh, okay. And I remember I was like, and for some reason I just said to something, like, I was like, by the time I finish this trip, I'll have executively produced her project. Like,
That's
I
so
believe
dope.
in her. Like, I'm going to I'm going to do this. By the end of the trip, like, that's just what happened. Like, I think I went out there a second time. So I worked with her.
How long were you in LA for?
So that was like 2 weeks roughly.
Yeah.
But I built the relationship in the first time I met her. And like we did Bad Boy the first time I ever met her, which was on the project. And
that's sick.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's fire. And then I don't know if I saw her again that trip. Yes, I did. I saw her again that one trip. And then we kind of did a couple other things. I think that's when we did God Sent, which was again on the project. And then the second time I went out there, I was actually on vacation. And I was like, hey, like, let's link, like, because my girlfriend's also a fan. So we met up and then I saw her. And then she was like, I don't know what, like, we have all these songs. Like, what should we do?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, let me sit down. So I literally they had all 20 possible songs just in a Pro Tools, in a Pro Tools file. And I'm like, boom, 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 here. These are the songs. Here's the first, here's the last, here's how it's going to be sequenced. And I put them in my FL and I just sequenced the whole thing. And I did like these transitions and like all this stuff. And it sounded so fire. And like from that point, like I think only maybe 1 or 2 songs were changed. Like it was like from literally me sitting down in 20 minutes and be like, here's the project.
That's so sick.
And that was it.
That's great that you got a chance to do that.
Yeah, and I was like...
The project's fire, too.
Well, thanks.
You kind of killed it.
Thank you. But yeah, so like I'm super proud of that.
Yeah.
Charlie really killed the beats on that. She killed the songs. And it was just like a real pleasure to be able to work on that. Like it was really great.
That's amazing, especially right after like your first time working down in LA.
Yeah. And I just remember saying to myself, like,
great turnaround time, Bijan.
Literally. And I just remember saying to myself, like, this is like I spoke this into existence. Like this is, I said this. So that was
true. You got to stay positive about that stuff.
Yeah.
I get real down on myself sometimes.
It
sucks. It really sucks. Oh, it's your question.
Oh, is it mine?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what are some pros and cons? I don't know. I'm going to skip this one question, but what are the pros and cons of having your brother as your manager?
Ooh. A pro is that no one's going to look better after you than your family.
Yes.
He's never going to steer me wrong.
Yes.
And I've heard such terrible horror stories of people trying to find a manager.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, like, I don't know how this person is. I don't know how to trust, if I should trust them.
Yep.
Like, how do you get into that, like, trust so fast with the manager? Because obviously they want to make money off of you, but they also want to help you, but you don't know what their actual agenda is.
Yeah.
Whereas with him, it's just like, all right,
that's your brother.
He's going to kill it for me.
Yeah.
Because if I make money, he's going to make money.
And you don't have to worry about trusting because that's your brother.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to screw me over.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
No. Yeah, knock on wood.
No, he would never. But some of the cons are that they're not necessarily cons, but, some things that wouldn't happen if I was with another manager is that, like, we get real emotional about things.
Yeah.
I'm an emotional guy. He's an emotional guy.
Yep.
If I am not in a good mood, he's going to know it. And I'm going to like, be a dick sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I'm
you
a
feel
dick
more
sometimes.
comfortable with him.
Yeah. It's being comfortable. Exactly. Like if I'm like, I don't feel like doing that session because I'm tired, because I just have so much on my plate right now, or I have something else to do. Like I'm just gonna tell him straight up, and he's gonna be like, get mad at me for it and be like, this is a good opportunity. Like kind of yell at me, and like it turns into a fight.
Yeah.
It's
a fight. Yeah.
But it's just because we're brothers.
Yes.
I would have the same conversation with someone else, but it wouldn't be a fight. It'd be like a calm.
There could be
talk.
A sturdy discussion.
I think we don't need to do this. Like some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's awesome. We'll have him on here soon.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. All I hear is nothing but good things from you about him. So, plus he's a great guy. I know.
Yeah, he's okay. Do a fair. Okay, what do you like to do for fun outside of working on music?
Video games.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'm a big PC gamer.
I just got Diablo 3.
I have to play it. I heard it's good.
Is
it good? I heard it's good.
Get on that. We're not working for the next month if you get that.
Oh, no.
Shit. It's so good. I've wasted a lot of time the past couple of weeks on it.
Fine.
Every day in LA last week, I would go to the studio for like 7 to 10 hours.
And that was it.
And then go home
You bring your console out there with you?
No, I have my
Oh,
laptop.
you played on your computer.
Yeah, my laptop. So
Gotcha.
I would go back to the hotel, sit at the little desk at the hotel, and play for like 3 hours,
Jesus.
and then go to bed. terrible habit.
I play a lot of like shooters on my computer. I just got this game,
Yeah.
Battalion, Mordhau, I think it's called. It's like this medieval game, and then like Siege is like my number one.
That's dope. I
have
haven't heard of either of
1,500
those.
hours in Siege.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's kind of stupid.
How many years have you been playing?
Oh, geez. I want to say 3 to 4.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's still pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
but
still a lot. Yeah.
I have a lot of hours in that game.
That's crazy.
It's one of my favorite games. It's probably my favorite game.
You're one of those people that I would see in the game and be like, "Fuck this guy."
Yeah, facts.
Do something else.
Yeah.
No, that's dope though. I mean, I always attach myself to a video game really fast, and then get bored of it really fast.
Yeah, that's the thing that people do.
That's your question.
Okay, so what was your backup option if producing didn't work out? Did you have one?
I'm not good at anything else.
No, come on.
No, I honestly, I would have to say working at my dad's shop. Working at my dad's hardware store.
Oh, hardware store?
It's like a branch off of Home Hardware called Downtown Lumber.
Nice.
They've got offices. No, no, they do like, kitchen tiles, lumber. Yeah, all stuff like that. That's where I would be. For sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's not a bad job. It's just so much happier doing music.
Yeah, of course. No doubt.
When it comes to your creative process from the beginning of a song to the end, is there a part of the process that's your favorite?
Honestly, no. Funny enough,
that's the whole thing.
It's just I really enjoy I love every moment at the beginning of the inception and the birth of a song, I guess.
Yeah.
But I love it just as much in the middle and the end. Like middle, like really fleshing things out and like
that's amazing.
Getting little details down. Yeah, and then at the end, just making sure everything's perfect.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of everything. I love just sitting down, like especially with artists, of course, and everyone says this. I just like being able to just, one
with the artist. Just hey, what do you want?
Yeah.
Don't leave me on some
around. Yeah. And the best is when it's just like an artist that knows what they want, and it's also not only knows what they want, but is open to try things and do, like, hey, let's try this, and let's maybe I could do this or try this line, and they're like, oh, okay, let me try that. Like instead of being like, no, I do the writing.
Like sure, there are some people that are like, okay, no, I've done it myself my whole life. Yeah. Like this is the way it does, and it's worked out perfectly. But like, always be open to people in the room.
Absolutely.
At least try. If it doesn't sound good, at least everyone's gonna know it doesn't sound good. Yeah. In the room.
Exactly.
You're not going to be sitting there wondering like, and then the song comes out and someone's like, see if they did this thing, it would have done.
Yeah.
It's always shit like that.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah.
Is it mine?
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah. So so this is my last question.
All right.
Because I want to keep this relatively not too long.
Yeah.
So this is a scenario. You're locking yourself away for 6 months to work.
Oh man.
By yourself.
Yeah.
You can bring artists if you want, but predominantly you're going to be working. You get to build, you have the funds to build a studio.
Okay. Where
are you going to build it? Where are you going to work?
All right. I know exactly where it would be.
Oh God.
I want to pinpoint it.
Let's hear it.
All right. Longitude and latitude. No, I'm kidding. Every summer when I was a kid, we would go to Portugal for 2 months.
Of course.
My parents would ship me off day after school ended to the day before school started.
Amazing.
And I go with my cousins, family, friends, whatever. There's this like massive hill that we would have to walk up to get to our house along a cliff, and the cliff gets higher and higher and higher. And on the edge of the top, the highest part of the cliff, there's this building called an estalagem, which means, I think it translates to like community center.
Okay.
People would get married there, have receptions there back in the day, but now it's just run down, like all broken glass. There's graffiti everywhere. It's terrifying inside. Right. They're actually they're rebuilding it now, but I would buy that land
and then just build
if I had the money. Buy that land, build the studio with my main window in front of my desk, looking out over the cliff into the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow,
it's the most, and the sun sets right in front.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous there. I love it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
It's a great answer.
Yeah.
I'd do the same.
I feel like I thought about that a lot.
I'd probably build mine over yours.
Yeah.
Probably just like, you know what? Tear this guy's down. Let me build mine up.
Instagram, you're like, I Instagram higher.
You have anything else for me, Nick?
I'm going to pick one. I got 4 left, but I'll pick one.
Okay, cool. I guess 10 questions didn't really work out. We want to keep it short.
Yeah. Let's keep it short. We want people to stay interested, in your opinion,
Yes.
what is one thing that every song must have for it to be a good song?
Oh, that's a tough one.
And I know it's a super vague question.
Well, it's just a tough question just because every song is so different. But I think for me, the general basis of what a song needs to be popular, I guess, needs to be obviously catchy is whatever. But, but you need to be able to understand what the person is saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I love, as much as I love artists that are really unique and creative and stuff, they're what's gonna really sell are songs that you can sing along. And like my mom is listening in the car, she'll know the lyrics. Yeah. Or if I play the song, she's like, "Oh yeah, I know." Like, and then she'll sing along too. Yeah. And it's just when things are clear lyrically, and they're simple enough for someone to just be like, "Oh, she said, 'Do you love me?'" Like Drake. Like Drake is the king of this. Like,
exactly what he's saying.
You know exactly what he's saying every time, and that's partially because the engineer is doing a great job on his vocals. But also he enunciates his words extremely well. Yeah. That's what I see as like that is the way to go if you want a popular song. Yeah. Something that is catchy.
I have to agree.
But also like you really know what they're saying.
Yep.
There you go.
Truth. Well, that's the first episode of Thoughts in Stereo.
I guess the first awkward episode, get all the jitters out.
Get all the jitters out. I was so worried hearing my own voice up so close.
No. I've done this once before. I'm a veteran.
I've done it, but I haven't done it like with headphones and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess the artist life really wasn't for you then.
Fuck no.
I guess, what do we say? Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to be shooting a lot more of these, and I guess this is the only interview episode. I think from now on, we're just going to be more conversational.
Yeah, more conversational. We're going to bring some people on to chat about what their roles are in the music industry, whether it be other artists, managers, publishers, people that work at PROs like SOCAN, stuff like that. Like,
we're just gonna get a bunch of different perspectives.
Yeah. Let you guys know, let you guys hear every angle.
Yeah. So that you're prepared, if you're thinking about it, at least you can kind of listen to us and, kind of be prepared.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
See you next time.